Keeping venomous reptiles is an unforgiving hobby, requiring proper training and lots of experience. One simple mistake can be the difference between life and death. Remember, the most venomous snake in the world is the one that just bit you. There are no venomous snakes with training wheels. Just because you see viperkeeper handle snakes a certain way does not mean you should try it too.
It's time to feed the psychotic monsters here. Hello. Hello. You want this, huh? Alright. You're going into the shed. That reminds me I need to probably check that cage and make sure he ate tomorrow. Hello? Hello? Knock knock. Mouse man. Come on. There you are. Oh, you're in shed too, huh? I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed with the antics. If they're all in shed, they're not going to be misbehaving as usual. Oh!
Yikes!
See, this is why you stand back when opening this particular set of cages. Whoa.
Good grief!
Come on, you toad. Up.
Good.
You know,
those guys are nuts.
the taipans are easier to work with than these guys. Here you go. Here you go. Got it? These guys are absolutely bonkers. There's food. There you go. At least that one had the right idea that I was not visiting for fun. I was visiting with food. Hello. Hello, Mr. Big. Oh, you missed. You missed again. There you go. Good job. The popcorn cobras are always good for a bit of craziness. If things are calm in the lair, you go to their cages, it's not going to be so calm anymore. They're going to just be nuts. Well, I'm very sorry to disturb you, but I see you've dropped one egg. Well, that's a small egg, huh? That's a really small egg. Just go ahead. We're not going to hurt you. I'm really sort of sorry to bother you, but I just wanted to check and make sure everybody was okay. So, we're just going to do that. We're going to let her do her thing. I think the eggs will be fine with enough humidity in there overnight. We'll get the incubator fired up tomorrow. Boy, those are small eggs, and that means the babies are going to be real small. Toxic threads. Okay, so this girl is making some progress, but I think she's got more going on. So we're going to carefully pull these out.
These are very, very tiny.
This one shows signs of sort of crinkling, so we'll get it nested in there. You can see that I'm quite adept at working with these tongs. Hey, how you doing? Keep the humidity up while she's in the process of laying.
Is that a slug right there?
Yeah, it's a slug. I'm not so much worried about slugs right now, but we're gonna let her continue because she still looks like she has some eggs in there. Now these guys are gonna go in the incubator. And they're gonna cook about 89 degrees or so. And I forget how many days it is, but it's probably like 45 days if I remember correctly for these species of echis. So we'll see, and then the fun begins, because with eggs that small, they're going to be a nightmare to feed. But I'll give them the best shot I can without dying myself. Okay, another happy customer to get a fish. Easy. Wait a second. There you go. No, don't come after me. Come on. It's in your water dish. It's in your water dish. Here, go in your water dish. There you go. Whoa!
Oh!
No, Miss Keelback, this wasn't a good idea. I know.
There's a fish there somewhere.
Come on. I call it Miss Keelback, but it's actually a boy. Come on. No. Oh, I hate playing snake hockey. Come on. There you go. Now Mr. Fish is really unhappy. So we'll put him in the bowl and
now he's all butthurt because he
did the swan dive here.
swan dive and probably
Here. I know you're flaring your neck. Come on. Yes. I didn't take your fish from you. You dropped your fish because you decided to be over enthusiastic. Come on, don't be all butthurt. Here. Now Mr. Fish is dying. There we go.
There, finally.
Oh, now we're happy.
Mr. Fish is not so happy.
Well, see, it doesn't make me happy that we have to sort of live feed certain animals. I would prefer to have properly euthanized feeding items and not have to have a slower sort of death for Mr. or Miss Fish there. But this is the way it is in the wild. I just try to avoid this sort of thing for captive animals.
He is gorgeous, man. What a pretty snake.
Now, since we've been feeding Mr. Keelback for quite some time, and he's a captive-born animal, people have asked me if, because they're frog eaters in the wild and they sequester those frog toxins in their nuchal glands, whether or not he's still poisonous or not, and the answer is I don't know, and I am not willing to find out. So we'll just treat him like he's poisonous and venomous, and treat him with care. You can see when he was on the ground, I didn't reach down and try to tail him. It's okay if you've got a 6-foot snake and you tail it, because you've got 5 feet 11 inches from you in the pointy end. When you have a 12-inch snake, you only have 11 inches between your fingers and the pointy end, and a lot less reaction time to get your hand out of harm's way. So we'll just let him do his thing here, even though he'll be looking for more. But that's all for the show today. Well, you're really not going to see this ringed water cobra, but these are rat pinks. Then I'm going to throw a couple in the drink here that I will put some fish in, And what's been happening is Mr. Water Cobra, or Miss Water Cobra in this case, has been grabbing fish and then occasionally making the mistake in grabbing a rat pink and eating it, and the hopes is that eventually it will just take rodents. So there's really nothing much to see, but this is a simple idea for getting snakes that are feeding on something that you don't really care to feed them because of it's difficult to procure. Lori and I have had to keep a fish tank to keep shiners and other bait fish alive for the fish feeders. So we want to get them on frozen thawed rodents, which is really convenient, and I don't like feeding live, first of all. Secondly, these guys have parasites, so once they get totally switched over to rodents, I'll have to treat them for parasites, which is not fun for the snake, and certainly a potentially lethal chemical to them. Well, Mr. Brown looks pretty relaxed right now, but as soon as I touch his cage, I'm sure that he will wake up and come over, and he's that quick. Hi, dude. He's another funny snake. Very, very quick. Mulga snakes are just incredibly fast. No, you're watching.
He's done, so.
Okay, well, I got another for him. Yes, I'm going to do some rats here in a minute there, Elvis. Whenever Mr. Brown's cage is open, you better have some rats.
Yes, that's why I brought your attention back over here.
Or at least something to eat, because he's very quick and
not shy about coming out of its cage.
Yes.
And I don't want to be chased out of the room by a mulga snake. That would not be fun.
Well, I think he would go and not after you or towards you. I'd be more if this was one of the taipans, that would be a different story. Okay, there you go, dude. That's your food allotment for this week. As you can see, he's got good weight, and I don't want to overfeed him. Alright, well, let's do some more mice and a couple of rats. He's the Lair's garbage disposal. Anything that's left over, he'll happily swallow. He even tries to swallow the tongs sometimes. And we have video of him trying to do that. He had the tongs, the feeding tongs, a good 6 inches down his throat one day. Wouldn't let go. And of course, I didn't want to injure him. Eventually, he's like, well, this is not going the way I wanted it to, so he gave him up. Okay, so let's leave him alone. If he really ventures out, I don't want you trapped. I want you to have some area of escape. There it is. Well, there you go, huh? You happy now? Mr. Forest Cobra. The genus, well, I'm sorry, not the genus. Melanoluca has been broken down into about 4 different groups of forest cobras. They're all separate species. They thought it was all one species, but now we have like 4 of them. I don't recall, I haven't read the paper yet, what all the names are, but they're from different geographical regions in Africa. And there's actually an insular form that's on an island that's been there long enough to evolve and have enough difference in DNA that they gave it its status as a separate species or a subspecies.
He's got mud on the side of his face.
Yes, yeah. And she's got the substrate.
Got a little trouble there with that substrate, huh?
Yep, shake and bake. Get in there. Come on. Okay, no theatrics today. He's going to be like, that's not nearly enough, Mr. Viperkeeper. But again,
Good size snake.
yeah, he's really sort of on the obese side. He is very food oriented, and it's he's he's definitely interested in feeding. And like, if you go back through some of my videos featuring forest cobras, they're the easiest snakes to trick to go into a tube and bag. All you do is you take a frozen thawed mouse, you just leave it frozen and just knock it around inside the tube and then into the bag, take it out, and then the dumb forest cobra will every single time go down the tube into the bag and then realize it's a trap. And you can easily bag them or manipulate them that way. But yeah, they're funny snakes, very food oriented. Well, here is Pogo's male friend, who's the father of the lone Pogo baby I've got in the other room. It's that time of year where he gets to go and visit Pogo, but he's not happy with me right now because I disturbed him. But I think a little later today he might change his mind. Whoa! There you go, dude. You will settle down, and if you're lucky, Pogo won't eat you. I really don't think she will. I don't know if she'll be happy to see him or not. But at any rate, it's time to put them together. She's been off feed. I don't know if that's because it's sort of breeding time of the year, which it actually is. However, we'll see if there's any breeding activity going on, and then we'll go on baby watch for Pogo.